People, how you doing? This is your girl Linda Kenyita, and as usual, this is Dog TV Kenya, where we give you information and educate you about dogs. Everything you need to know about dogs, you'll find it here. And today I am in Athyvine kennel at the river, Machakos County, for the first time. Yes, I'm in Machakos. Watu wa Machako, how you doing? So I'm going to visit in there. I'm going to find out what exactly they do. Remember, I'm new in this journey. I'm getting to get educated too. As I educate you, I also get educated. So follow me as we go meet the kennel and the dogs and the kennel owner, and we get to interact with them. Karibuni.
Hello, Linda.
Hi.
Welcome to Athyvine kennel. Karibuni sana.
Asante. How are you doing?
Doing well. My name is Cyprian Mavindu of Athyvine kennel, and you are much welcome to come and share our story and be part of this wonderful journey.
Thank you. I appreciate it a lot. Okay.
Yeah, so if you like, I think we can have a walk around and then we get to see.
Okay, yes, please.
Karibu. Asante. Okay, so here we are. These are working dogs. One is a protection dog and the other one is a sniffer dog. All right, so this is Bella. This is Bella. Bella born 2015. And this is Tarus. Tarus, a Kalenjin name. Tarus is a sniffer dog born 2017 December. I would not go in, but we can move into the next.
Okay.
Now, you'll allow me now to go in.
Okay.
I show you this. All right. Now, I'm going to release our black shepherd. This Flavio. Yes. Flavio is from Germany. This is a sniffer dog. He has been on international assignments and he has come home to rest.
He's been on international assignments?
Yes. Flavio worked in Somalia, South Africa, Mali, and then now he come back home. Originally bred and imported from Germany. Yes. This is a sniffer dog, specifically for explosives. Yes. So this is the third week since he came back home. Yeah, and a boy. So hopefully now he'll be able to make more babies for us.
Okay.
All right. This is Asen. Asen is from Netherlands. Yes, he's from the Netherlands. Also on international mission. You can see she came back home overweight. So now we are trying to trim her down to size, and then arudi kazi tena. Yeah. So the last assignment again was in Somalia. He came back home last week on Thursday. Yes. So now let me get out now the next one, and then we carry on. This is Goro. 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 Yes, Goro. Hey, come on. Goro is a German Shepherd Malinois mix. Had an accident last week at the airport again. He's from Germany. Again on international assignment. So for him, he will not be going back to work. He's been out long enough. So he's here to enjoy his retirement.
Okay.
Yes. Now for the puppies, just let them run free.
Okay.
You are very safe, as I said, and therefore there would be no problem, and we can talk about them as they run around.
Okay.
All right. Come on, girls. So what you are seeing are two black German Shepherds and a sable German Shepherd puppy. They are 6 months old. These are the ones that now to join our training program. So currently now we are doing what we call puppy selection to be able to know who is going for detection work, who is going for protection work, or who qualifies for none of the two and would be a pet. So now we are in that process.
Okay, I'm interested to know, how do you tell? How can you tell the characteristics of this is a good sniffer dog, this is a...
Could we move away from the noise? Okay. Then it is very easy. We carry out certain tests. And the first thing for a dog that is going into detection work, the first thing is to get to know how best can the dog get to use its nose. For example, we use a ball. So the first thing, we direct everything to a ball. I'll be able to show you the ball. So once that is done, and the dog builds very good ball drive, then now we start directing that drive to a substance. Kama ni bangi, you direct to bangi. If it's going to be cocaine, whatever kind of training that you want now whichever kind of direction you want to push that dog to. Now we start orienting the sense into the dog. But the bottom line is that ball. That ball, hiyo ndio mshahara. If you don't reward that dog with that ball, then you are basically putting the dog down. So a dog that will exhibit signs of agitation, it's not good for detection work. Let that dog go to protection. And they really love protection because naturally they are protectors. So now we get to push that dog towards that particular direction. There will be those others that they are not interested in the ball. They are not interested in the protection work. And anytime you try to get something into the dog, it runs away or it is uncomfortable. That is a pet. And it doesn't matter how beautiful the dog is, it is a pet. And therefore, now you give it all the affection to have it as a pet, which you can either keep or we can sell as a pet. And whoever is buying, tunamwambia, this is a pet. You are buying a pet, not a protection dog. So that much later we don't run into conflict. So typically that is how we do our selection, but it is a process. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm learning something new because I thought if I buy a dog and I want it to be a guard dog, it can just be a guard dog. Like there is no, when it is born a dog.
Yes, it is born a dog. But just like humans, there are those who are born lawyers, born engineers, born whatever. The same thing is typical with these dogs. But the most important thing is the personality of the dog, what we call the temperament of the dog. It is the temperament of the dog that will be able to tell us what this dog is best suited for. There are those even right away, even before we do the selection, they will exhibit certain traits. There are those that come from a lineage that is famous for certain kind of work. So you know that line is most likely bound to produce dogs for that kind of work. Like now, for example, the three dogs that you've seen that have been on international assignment, most likely what will get out of that will go towards nose work. Yes. So it comes with time. It's a skill, and by the end of the day, you're able to do the right selection.
So if I see a puppy cowering away, it's not that it's generally a coward, it's that protection work, it's not its thing.
Let me tell you, not absolutely. Subject the dog to the process. The only thing is, you need to be patient with the dog. Just much like how our kids learn. They are fast learners, they are slow learners, there are others who are not interested, but at some point they'll wake up. And I've had such kind of incidents. Once we were doing a selection for detection dogs, and two dogs, we wrote them off, and then we continued and eventually narrowed down on two. Then one day my trainer said, why can't we try these two dogs that we had abandoned about a month ago? And we brought them in. Within a week, they were better than the ones that we had been training. Yeah, so it's that's why I said it is a process. and then you must be patient with the dog. But over time, certain traits will emerge, and you'll be able to classify the dogs accordingly.
Okay.
Right. Here is a very handsome boy. We call him Brave. We call him Brave. And let's see how Brave is. And here is Brave. The first thing, as a dog owner and handler, you must always have a leash. You don't know how the dog is going to react to a stranger. But you can pet Brave and see whether you'll be able to get along. Come on.
Hi. Somebody is jealous. Hi, Brave.
So Brave came from Hungary. Again, is in the international mission team. He still has a lot of energy. And God willing, he should be able to get back to assignment soon.
Which breed is?
He is a Malinois. Yeah, he's a Belgian Malinois.
A Belgian Malinois?
Yes.
I thought they're supposed to be slim and very
This boy
slender.
has been eating, but my belief is very soon he's going to get back to shape. He came back overweight, so we are toning down on his diet. But I'm happy with the progress. So yes, Brave is going to be in shape very soon, and then he's going to be doing a lot within this open field. Okay. So this is Bambi. Bambi, yes, a German Shepherd. Now this is what we call bicolor. If you look at his color, at her color, she has more black than tan. Yeah. So this is what we call a bicolor German Shepherd. She's from Hungary as well. Has been on international mission. So again, much like Brave, came home quite overweight, and we are trying to tone her down. But the beautiful thing is she's a very, very social dog, very playful dog.
You're social.
Yes, and she's Bambi.
You remind me of my favorite song.
And she's very good with children.
Okay.
Yes. Again, she is a detection dog. Yes.
Okay.
So that is Bambi for you. Now, in a nutshell, all the dogs that you are seeing here are 12 months and below.
12 months and below.
Yes, all the dogs that, yes. And amazingly, they are all females. They are all females. You build a kennel using females. You only need a few males, or you know where you can be able to get your best males. Now, let's just draw near, and then we can talk about. All right, Blondie. So yes, this is Blondie. Blondie was born in September 9th last year. So she's to go into a breeding program. Also, she's been trained for guarding. Next, hey, come on. It's Asia. It's Asia. Yes. Like in the Middle East. She's a protection dog. Very well trained. She's been on assignment. She's just come back last week. Now, just locally, again, this is a guard dog. So the very red dog, this very one, her name is Crown. We called her Crown because she was the only puppy in the litter. And after weaning her, the mother passed on. Then I was to give her another name. I said, no, let me give her a prestigious name. So we called her Crown. And Crown is growing well. She's 7 months old. And she will take over from where the mother left. Then we can come down here. Now, this is Brandy. Yes, like Brandy Norwood. Now, Brandy, she's about 4 years. Yes, though I know I indicated here all the dogs are below a year, but I've not seen her. Brandy is one of our top producers. She produces very, very good working line dogs. Blondie is our daughter. Yes. Now, you saw Goro, and Goro had some injury here, which is sustained while on transit. When he came here, Brandy decided that wound should continue. So we brought Brandy to this side. Yeah, so for her, she's not in our working program. She's strictly in our breeding program. Yeah, she's one of my top producers. A very, very good girl. Blondie, and very, very obedient. Yeah, these are dogs that you can pick and walk away with, and there will be no problem. Now you can get to the other side. Here I have two big girls. Two big girls.
And beautiful ones at that.
Thank you. Bruno. Yes, that is how.
Blondie is a fighter.
Yes. Now, Bruno. So this is Bruno. And Bruno is 12 months old. She'll be turning 1 year very soon. Again, we brought in Bruno for breeding purpose. Because she has the good size, very good height, very good temperament, very good length. Then next to Bruno, this very red one, this is Champagne.
Champagne.
Yeah, Champagne.
Like pump champagne.
Here. The two share a father, but come from different mothers. Okay. Yeah, they come from different mothers. For her, she'll be going out to work very soon, but also into our training program. Okay. And then finally, there are some 3 puppies that you need to see. Yes. Now, this black girl, she's Rina. We call her Rina. Sister to the other puppies that you had seen. Most likely, this will be leaving our kennel very soon. Because again, we cannot keep all the dogs. Yes, so she'll be going to a very good family. And then this is Doctor. Doctor is a boy, 5 months old.
Hey, Doc.
Yes, and Doc is also likely to be leaving our kennel soon to go to a new home. And then, come on, this is Cora. Cora is 5.5 months. She'll also be leaving our kennel very soon. So these 3. At some point, you need to release some dogs to be able to support your kennel because it's also quite expensive to meet the medical bills and the feeding. So, yes, at some point we get to let go some puppies. Okay. Yes, so that is what we have here. Okay. We have other kennel in Kitengela. God willing, we'll also have the opportunity to visit. Yes, please. And then other dogs that are out on assignment. Okay. So that is the Athyvine for you. Okay. Yes.
Kitchen.
Yes.
What are we cooking?
Hey, hakuna madondo.
Hakuna madondo.
Today we have rice na nyama. Yes. So it is ready. But no, almost ready. So we'll get to serve this, cut this into small pieces. Then once we serve, we let the food get warm or absolutely cold, and then we can serve. Dogs don't eat hot food. Okay. Yes.
I hope they get to cool down when we are still here.
Sorry?
At what time do you feed them?
We feed them around 3 o'clock.
Around 3 o'clock.
So that they will have about 2 to 3 hours to relieve themselves before they go into the kennel for the night. Okay. Otherwise, if you feed them late, then you'll find a very messy kennel come the following morning, and your dogs will be very smelly because they slept on the poop.
That is a very good tip.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so that is how it goes. So the bottom line is feed them, allow them time, they release what they have, and then around 8 o'clock or so, we put them into the kennel
and they sleep.
And we retire. Then at least as we come the following morning, most of the kennels will still be very clean and dry.
So at any particular time, because I can see you separated them.
Yes.
When you're letting them out to play, you do it in turns.
Largely, most of the dogs, we can allow 10 plus dogs out. Provided, number one, there will be no 2 males out at any given time together.
The
yes.
males will fight.
The males, they'll compete for that dominant space. And especially if we have a female that is on in season, then that is a different story. Yeah, so because of that kind of aggression and agitation, sometimes when a dog fight breaks out, it is tough to separate. Much unlike humans, if you find 2 people fighting, utaenda kusaidia mwenye analemewa. Dogs, they come to they come to fight mwenye analemewa. So in that regard, of course, we have cartels here. We know who gets along with who and who they don't get along. Therefore, when we get them out, we take that into account.
Okay.
Yeah, but most of the time we can have 10 plus dogs out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I am here chilling with Mavindu, and I am going to let him now properly introduce himself, and we are going to chat about his journey into dog breeding, the do's, the don'ts, the journey, how it has been, and wacha niache kuongea mingi, and I let him do more of the talking. Mavindu.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you so much, Linda. And once again, welcome to Athyvine Kennel. Now, in terms of our background, we got started, to be precise, on the 28th of March 2005. That was Easter Monday. I had been going around seeking for dogs to buy, but unfortunately what I was coming across I could not afford. At the time puppies were going for 30,000. My salary was even way much below that. So I had to start with crossbreeds. I bought 2 puppies from a friend of mine in Thika. And then from there we got started. Then in 2006 there was a feature on one of our mainstream TV stations, and a breeder was featured somewhere in Nyeri, and I took a drive to Nyeri. I went and bought 2 puppies. So at the time now I had 4. Then 2007, 2008, there was a time when all of us were home because of the post-election violence. That's when we got our first litter. Customers came, they liked the puppies, but they could not commit to buy. Until when that wave cleared, and all the puppies were sold out in 3 days. So I made a resolve. Now we transitioned from a hobby to a business. But in 2009 I was transferred out of Nairobi. I went to work in Nyeri. So my business kind of slowed down a little bit. 2012 we got our first import puppy from South Africa. And things were good. Then moving forward, 2014, something again tragic happened. We had 18 dogs at the time. We had a aflatoxin attack. We lost 17, remained with 1. I put up an advert to sell and forget about this business. Graciously, I did not get a call, I did not get an inquiry. I talked to then I took time, went round, visit my fellow breeders, recollected myself, got back on board, and then began to move around, buy dogs, and fast forward today, 40 plus dogs, and now we've decided to diversify. Our initial product was just to buy, breed and sell puppies, but breed business is highly seasonal. There are times when you may have no puppy to sell, and therefore you need something to keep your kennel running, and therefore now we began to lease out our dogs for guard work and for also doing detection work. At the moment we have about 19 dogs that are out on guard work. We have about 7 detection dogs specifically trained for explosives. Quite a number have been on international assignments, but now they have come back home, some for good, others when once our contract is renewed, then again they'll be able to go out and work. Maybe what I would say, as far as my journey is concerned, one of the most important things that a breeder must have is proper documentation of your dogs. You must keep proper records of your dogs, because that is the only way you'll know what works for you, what does not work, what bloodlines that you need to concentrate on, and that which you need to get rid of in your kennel. And then again you need to get emotions out of your business. There will be certain dogs that you will have a lot of affection for, but they cannot be able to give you what you want. Then you must be able to make an informed choice and decide whether it's a dog that you're going to continue keeping or it's a dog that you'll have to let go. So those are some of the things that we've learned over time. Yes.
So since 2005, that's
Yes.
how long you've been breeding dogs.
Sure.
So right now, the majority of the breeds in the kennel, they are German Shepherds. Have you kept any other breeds other than German Shepherds?
Let me say largely I'm a German Shepherd person. We have a website. It's called Athyvine.com. And on the homepage you'll see Athyvine Kennel German Shepherds. Though in our kennel, yes, I have 2 Malinois specifically for detection, but for as much as my breeding work is concerned, it's purely German Shepherd.
Why the German Shepherds?
It is the most affectionate dog that I know of. 2, from a business standpoint, it's a very agile dog. It's able to fit into a family setup, into a working environment, and even when it comes to business, it's the easiest breed to sell. Yes. I admire many dogs, and Malinois is one of them. Then there's the Springer Spaniel, which they are very good for detection work. And then, of course, for guarding, the Rottweiler. Yes.
Okay. People start breeding dogs like as a hobby. Like I know, like I've loved dogs since I was a kid. Is dog something you've loved since you were a kid, or is it something that came up? Like wacha nijipe tu shughuli hivi. Why dogs?
By training, I'm a teacher, and I've been teaching since the year 2000 to date. But at some point I had to find something, as we call it, a side hustle, something that I would do when I'm not in the classroom. I had considered quite a number of options, but I wanted something that I can be able to do, and I can also be able to have my family time. So while I was still in that confusion, a friend visits. I used to own a security company, and we took a drive with him. I went and saw his dogs. I got excited, and I asked him, what does it take? So from there, I went online and I began reading, and the rest is history. Once I got started into it, I have not looked back.
You have not looked?
I have not looked
Any
back.
regrets?
My only regret is that I should have started earlier than I did. But this far, all the challenges I've gone through, I take it as part of my learning experience. So, and of course, I was ready for the highs and lows of the business. And I can't say it would have been any better than it is. Yes.
Now that you've mentioned challenges, I know you've mentioned some of your dogs dying, like almost all of them from aflatoxins.
Yes.
What other challenges have you gone through up to where you are today?
A constant factor. Any dog breeder will tell you of this. The cost of feeding and medication is relatively high. But again, if you want good dogs, you have to be prepared to give those dogs what they are worth in terms of feeding, in terms of Medicare. From time to time, even when your dogs are not sick, get a vet to come around. They'll be able to pick on something that perhaps you'll not be able to see. So when it comes to bills, yes, that is a challenge. But you know, it's not typical to me. It cuts across the board as far as the industry is concerned. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, if I want to buy a puppy from you, how much, like on average, how much should I have?
Before I give you the money, normally from experience I will tell you, anytime I advertise for puppies and the first question I'm seeing is how much, I know this person will not buy. And 99% they never get to buy. But the most important thing is, number one, establish the needs of the client. What kind of a dog is the client looking for? So that once you've been able to fit into the shoes of the client, then you'll be able to advise accordingly. Now, in terms of pricing, it is a range. One, depending on the quality of the puppy, depending on the age of the puppy, and also depending on the needs of the client. For a pet puppy, I would be asking for 30,000. I'll not be asking for much. But if somebody needs a dog that is going to go into detection work, is going to go into protection work, then prepare to part with 65, 70 and above, depending on the dog. Yes.
Most of us out there really do not understand the work that goes into breeding and raising dogs. So sometimes when you ask how much and you hear 30,000 shillings, people are like, what? What am I buying? Because actually, since I started posting pictures of me and dogs and puppies, I get questions of, Linda, nitafute puppy, how much? Linda, how much? And when I tell them the quotations, it's not me, I'm not even brokering it, it's your price. They're like, Linda, what am I buying? And I think this is really important for people to understand the work that goes into keeping these dogs, the work that goes into breeding. And I think this is quite informative, so people at least will understand. At least now people have a platform where before they come to asking you how much, they've seen it from me first.
Allow me to give an input. I have a few things here with me, and this is a ball. We call it a Kong, K-O-N-G. We call it a Kong, and we use a Kong to assess the temperament of a dog. When you talk of temperament, it's the personality of the dog, and this will tell us what a dog would be best suited for. So even when a client is coming and is in need of a dog, we do it first hand. We'll pick this and we throw it to the puppies, and we'll see how the dogs behave. The next thing is grooming. Here I have 2 grooming combs. Now here, this one removes the superficial coat, loose coat. Then the heavy undercoat, this removes that. Now we do grooming every single day. Every single day. Yes, and when I'm talking of every single day, we are doing this for over 30 dogs. Every single day, this comb has to work. And if it does, even when I'm away, I can come and look at it and naona hii imekaa siku 3 nne haijatumiwa, and somebody will have to give an account. Also, even when you look at the coat of the dog, it's just much like humans. When you've not combed your head, you don't know. These are jackets. And you can see it has a sticker. This I got from a great good friend of mine in the UK. He sent them to me. So we use this. This is for a puppy, for fairly young puppy, maybe up to about 4 months. This is for a little bit bigger dog, maybe 8 months to a year or so. And this is what we use when we are walking the dogs. Put on the jacket. Now jackets are suitable before the dog becomes very powerful, because if you put this on an adult dog, it's going to pull, and it's going to pull a lot. So this is very important. Now earlier on I talked about documentation. Somebody may ask, but why are these dogs this expensive and the like? Now I wish you could focus on this. Now these are passports, by the way, for the dogs that you saw that have been on assignment. For every dog that we have a vaccination card, which must be updated by our vet. There is a registration certificate. There is a pedigree certificate. So when you take all these unforeseen things, and even when it comes to our breeding, I don't just pick a male and a female, I pair them and I have puppies. No, I must understand what do I want to improve on a particular dog. That is why we take our dogs for dog shows. Whether I win or whether my dog wins or not, to me the most important thing is the critique from the judge. And then now you can pose direct questions to the judge. If it's a female, what kind of a male would be suitable for this? Or if it's a male, what kind of a female would be a best mate for this dog? And by so doing, you get to improve on the quality of your dogs and even the look and appeal. So when you quote the price and somebody cannot be able to understand, it's prudent that they get to know what goes into the process of breeding.
What goes into the process.
Yes.
Now,
yes.
When it comes to the support. Now, I've heard you mention you belong to class, but personally, does your family support you breeding dogs? Because I've hung out with some young guys who says like, they get into hiccups here and there when it comes to relationships and dogs.
This is obviously not a one-man show. My spouse and kids, they are part of it. Like anytime, say we lose a dog, for example, my kids have to get involved. If they're at home, even they will tell me, we need to see.
Now, your folder. I see you have documentations for your dogs, and I also heard you mention that you belong to some dog clubs. Now, can you kindly tell us what's the importance of these documentations and also being part of a club?
Thank you. I think documentation is key in everything, and the first thing is to be able to profile your dog. As per our affiliation to a number of dog clubs and associations, again, it's very critical because one, it gives you the forum to be able to meet other breeders and share your experiences. Number two, whenever we have dog shows, we get international judges, certified international judges. And when they come here and we get to show our dogs, then they're able to give a critique as per age given to a dog. And perhaps if you're looking into breeding, what would be a best pair for your kind of dog. And by so doing, through those clubs, one, you get to learn from amongst your peers. Number two, you get to engage with the international judges. Number three, it is also a marketing forum because would-be buyers, they would call the club and say, I'm seeking for a dog which has these specifications. And those clubs would call the breeders and connect them to those people. Secondly, coming to the divine to a dog, there are rules that must be adhered to as per those clubs. For example, when it comes to breeding, we can only breed a female once a year. Now, what does that mean? It means that the dog will have enough time to recover, nurse the puppies, and also to move away from the concept of you're just somebody, a breeder is just looking at just minting money. Now, one important thing that we must understand and we need to run away from, like the puppies that you'd see by the roadside. Now, those are puppies that are being sold by puppy millers. And who are these puppy millers? These are people who are only driven by money. They care little to nothing about the dog. You'll find the dog being bred thrice a year, or even a dog that is overage still into the breeding program, and that is being very, very unfair to the dog. And by so doing, by being a member of these clubs, one, we are able to avoid puppy millers. We don't go into puppy milling ourselves, and we are able to uphold the recommended standard of the German Shepherd dog, while at the same time being able to sustain the market. Yes. If you do not have sufficient historical background of the dogs that you wish to inbreed, please do not inbreed. Because on the flip side, if the dog has certain known flaws or weaknesses, the moment you inbreed, again, that weakness is going to be much significant in the progenies, much unlike if you did not inbreed. And for that reason, if you are not an experienced breeder, even for the experienced breeders, if you do not have a valid reason to inbreed, do not inbreed. It is largely discouraged. Okay. Yes.
Also, I noticed some vaccination cards. Explain it to me, as if I want to buy a puppy or a dog owner, mwenye they've gotten puppies, what is the process of the vaccination?
Okay, I want to approach this from two angles. Number one is a new dog owner who doesn't know much about this. If you go out to buy a puppy, one of key questions that you must ask the breeder is, who is your vet? That is very critical. And if this vet is within reach, engage with that vet. If that vet is not within reach, probably again get to engage that vet who can be able to recommend a vet within your area, or even talk to other dog owners within your area, and then you'll be able to get a good vet. Secondly, how is the vaccination regime bound to be? Let me say that there are three important vaccinations. There's what we call the parvo. Number 2 is distemper or DHLP. And number 3 is rabies. Now, in terms of how this is administered, I would say largely, if you go out there and Google on the net, you will be able to get very different vaccination patterns, even though they will touch on those 3 vaccines. However, as per what would work with you, again, you'd need a certified vet who understands dogs very well and your environment. Why am I bringing up this? Because you may find a certain time when the parvo strain will be on the rise. And therefore, perhaps vaccinating your puppy once against parvo may not be sufficient. You may have to do it twice. So you do a parvo, DHLP, and then you do rabies. Or in environments where the strain is not as high, then you can do parvo, DHLP. Actually, the last DHLP can be combined with rabies. So I would say it will depend on the environment in which the dog owner is, and you need sound advice from your vet, and a vet who understands the environment very well, and also maybe the history in your kennel. That is key.
Me, like, as if I want to buy a puppy or a dog owner, mwenye they've gotten puppies, what is the process of the vaccination?
Okay, I want to approach this from 2 angles. Number 1 is a new dog owner who doesn't know much about this. If you go out to buy a puppy, one of the key questions that you must ask the breeder is, who is your vet? That is very critical. And if this vet is within reach, engage with that vet. If that vet is not within reach, probably again get to engage that vet who can be able to recommend a vet within your area, or even talk to other dog owners within your area, and then you'll be able to get a good vet. Secondly, how is the vaccination regime bound to be? Let me say that there are 3 important vaccinations. There's what we call the parvo. Number 2 is distemper or DHLP. And number 3 is rabies. Now, in terms of how this is administered, I would say largely, if you go out there and Google on the net, you will be able to get very different vaccination patterns, even though they will touch on those 3 vaccines. However, as per what would work with you, again, you'd need a certified vet who understands dogs very well and your environment. Why am I bringing up this? Because you may find a certain time when the parvo strain will be on the rise. And therefore, perhaps vaccinating your puppy once against parvo may not be sufficient. You may have to do it twice. So you do a parvo, DHLP, and then you do rabies. Or in environments where the strain is not as high, then you can do parvo, DHLP. Actually, the last DHLP can be combined with rabies. So I would say it will depend on the environment in which the dog owner is, and you'll need sound advice from your vet, and a vet who understands the environment very well, and also maybe the history in your kennel. That is key. Yes.
And at what age do the vaccinations start?
Okay. Now, you can actually be able to do your first vaccination at 6 weeks. But this works best if the mother had been boosted with a similar vaccination prior to mating. But in environments where the parvo strain is high, or the dog had not been vaccinated, then you do your first vaccination at 4 weeks, and then from there the rest will follow in 3 weeks intervals.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Right.
So Mavindu,
Yeah.
tell me where I am.
You are in one of our assignments, not far off from our kennel, and we have 6 dogs deployed. Yeah, so you are much welcome, and we can have a look at the dogs. But before we do so, one thing that is of importance is how do we maintain those dogs here? Of course, one, the dogs have to be washed. You can see that we have some jerry cans of water here, primarily for tick and flea control. Number 2, the dogs have to be groomed, which again must be done every day. I think you'll be able to see some off-coat shading on the other side. And then 3 is feeding. We use dry food here. So the dogs must always be kept in good health. And anytime we have an issue, then we must have a replacement dog. Yes.
And who is responsible for all that when they are here?
Yes, typically we have a team of handlers. There's a head handler who is directly responsible and who directly reports to us for ease of logistics.
Okay.
Right.
Also, now you've mentioned ticks and flea.
Yes.
You're in an area, your kennel is in an area where it's open and there are a lot of cows and goats passing by nearby. How do you control ticks and fleas?
Okay. One, the dogs are washed weekly, but on the day of the wash, it has to be sunny so that we can be able to take care of pneumonia. Other times when it is impossible to do so, then we use a product. Basically, it is a spot-on, which is effective for a period of 30 days. From time to time, we make sure that the place is flushed, and we also come and do some spray so that, again, we can keep them out. Yes. Now, this is Malik. Malik is 1.5 years old. He's one of our guard dogs stationed on this side. Yes. Yeah. And you can see he's growing up very, very well. And we were here yesterday. We did a grooming and deworming. So I know now they're ready for work. Yes.
I'm enjoying my journey. I hope you are too. And if you are enjoying, please subscribe. This is Linda Kenyita, and as usual, this is Dog TV Kenya, where we give you information about dogs, everything to do with dogs.